Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and we're going to preview some projects that have recently come into my shop. We'll talk a little bit about which ones are going to make it to video, and you'll get an appreciation for what it is that I'm working. So the first one, it's interestingly enough, came to me from Brian, and Brian is out in New York, and he hooked me up with a editor, I guess is the right word, or site owner, for Salt Strong, which is an online fishing club, and the guy's name is Joe Simons, and we did a podcast recently on reasons why fishing reels fail. Well, long story short, Brian and I got to discussing. He's active with some youth fishing clubs at a local middle school, and we were able to work some things where he got some stuff that I had that would work great in his environment, and I got a couple of reels from him as well, so we kind of horse traded there. But at the end of the day, Brian had in there, he had a big 9.0 type reel, and it's kind of unusual. Now, I showed you the Ocean City Long Key before. This one is actually a Fluger reel. It's the Fluger Templar, and it's got probably the most unusual model number I've seen. It's the 1420 and a half. So whoever sees and a half. And interestingly enough, I went onto the Orca site to see if I could find schematics for it. And there's actually a reel out there that's got a number and a 3/4. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. This one's just kind of struggling to be turned. My guess is this thing hasn't been worked on in a long time. I believe the model years on this one was between 1934 and 1951. So that's an old guy there. I am certainly going to take this one apart and show everybody what this reel is made of, and we'll get a little bit more of an appreciation for an old-time big game reel. So stay tuned for that one. Next up comes a couple of reels from Willard. Looks like it's going to be Mitchell Day. I have a Mitchell 300. I was told by Willard that both of these have bails that aren't particularly cooperating. This one I can tell immediately the bail wire is just terribly bent. That should be a nice round oval, and this thing got whacked somehow, pushed off to the side. I have no doubt that that's what's causing the tension in this one. So I'm going to take that bail wire off. I'll attempt to re-straighten that. That should fix it. And Willard tells me this one's been around him a long time and hasn't been serviced, and he'd like me to do the full service on it, and I certainly will. I have videos out there on my site for the Mitchell 300, and if you're interested in it, then please go ahead and take a look at that, and you will see. This is a more modern version of that. This is the Mitchell 300X. I think it's, I can't tell if this one was made in France or not. Hard to see. Doesn't say, but it's got that little round sticker that usually indicates it was made in China. I understand this is the same issue with the bail. It flips sometimes and it doesn't flip sometimes. That's usually, again, something to do with the bail being bent. This one doesn't look as severely bent, but it does look like it's pushed to that side. And I'll probably do the 300X. I don't think I have a video on that one. So if you're interested in how to fix the video or how to repair the reel, stay watching for that. Okay, my friend Thomas sent me 4 reels in a bag. Always a joy to work with, and I sent him a note back saying thanks for the surprise. I'm always into jigsaw puzzles, and by the way, what's wrong with these that they came apart but didn't go back together again? A Shimano Calcutta 250. A lot of you know that I have the 251, which is the left-handed version of this reel. I like it a lot. I still haven't gotten around to putting those ceramic bearings in it, but I will. But in the meantime, we have a 250 in a bag. Let's see what we have here. We also have a Penn Battle, it looks like. Penn Battle in the bag, probably a 3000 model maybe. And looks like all the pieces and parts have gone into the bag. We hope that they do. It looks like there's a piece or two in here included with that as well. But that didn't stop there. We also have a bag of something here. This is an Okuma Coronado bait feeder. Looks like the 50 size. Bait feeder function looks like it's in place, but the main gear is out, so I'm not quite sure what we got there. And even if we can get that one back together again. And this one looks like an old-timer. So I'm going to be happy, and I will do a video on this one for sure. This is the Shimano Triton Mark II. I don't know what the year is, but it's a nice solid metal case. It's got the older style push button for the release. Seems to be working. Seems to spin nicely. And we'll take it apart. We'll see what may be going there. I think he mentioned in his note that it may be slipping drags with that. So we've got those coming up. We'll certainly be doing the Triton. Then a member of our local saltwater club, Rich, he brought me some reels. I'm always getting requests for these, so I think we'll do one of these. This is the Penn Squall 40, and it's a lever drag reel. People always want to see this one. I think I might have done the smaller version of the Squall, maybe the 15, so we'll definitely do that one. Rich also has one of these that we had done before, I think. We'll check it out. It's an Okuma Titan, I believe, Triton, I don't know, it's the T1. I'll figure it out before we get there. This is also a lever drag, and this is a lever drag with the level wind guide on it, as this one isn't. And as I mentioned in one of my other videos that I did, it's somewhat unusual to find a lever drag reel with the line guide on it, because the type of fish that you're searching for that typically will tear those line guides up. We have a Daiwa line counter reel here. This is the 47 line counter. This is a later version. There's a 47 H, which was the early version. This is the one with the graphite case. Everything seems to be working on this, so this is probably a tune-up and a cleanup, but I don't believe I've done this one. So there's a good chance you'll see that. Here's an old-timer. Rich says that he's had this one quite some time. This is the old beige brown. It's the master reel, and seems to be doing fine. So I'm not sure if I've done one of those. If I haven't done one, I'll check my library. If I haven't done one, I will. We've done this one in a different version. This is a Canyon lever drive reel. I like this reel a lot. So we'll certainly put that one together. I'll check the one that I did. If it's not this particular model, we'll probably do that again. Rich is also a fan of the Shimano's. Here's a Dakota with a line counter. He's telling me this one skips. So, I can feel that right now. My guess is it's happening over here. So there's one of two things that are probably happening with this. Either we have a bad worm gear here. Yeah, it's only happening on this side. So it's either a bad worm gear or it's a bad pawl. So we'll get underneath that and find out what that is. And we got a second one. We have another Dakota line counter, and this one's working as it is. So this actually is a good opportunity to tell you about this stuff. If you have more than one reel, it's the same, and one is encountering a problem and the other is not, well, it's pretty easy to problem diagnose, because, for example, I just mentioned I think it might be the pawl or the worm gear. I can pull the pawl out of this one, which we know is working properly, substitute it for this one, and if the problem goes away, we know it's the pawl. So it's kind of easy to do that and to do comparatives. So if you have more than one of the same reel and one of them's got a problem, don't be afraid to exchange parts between them as a problem diagnosis tool. So that's quite a bucket of reels there. Put that to the side. And interestingly enough, I did the video on the Meiselback, and a couple of days later, I found one. That I haven't found one of these in quite some time. I had mentioned it. This is an older reel. This is the 80 yards one. Now this one was made in Elvira, Ohio. So this is later than 1922. This one is stamped Newark, New Jersey. That was made before 1922 because Meiselback moved their plant location post-1922 to Ohio. So this one's a little bit later, and I'm going to be working on that one, but I don't know if I'll do the video because I did the video on the other one. This is a beautiful reel. It just comes apart. Tri-part reel. You can take it apart on both sides simply by screwing off the side plates. and getting underneath to service it. I'm a fan of these reels. I like them a lot. This one I found out there and was relatively inexpensive, and I can't wait to put some line on that other one and start fishing with it in the spring. So there you go. There's a preview of some of the items that are coming up. There'll be a few more before we put these out there, so I'll just leave you with a picture of a beautiful reel, a Pfluger Templar 1420 and a half. Okay, next up then, it seems to be the day for Mitchells to come into the shop. This is another 300. This is a 308X as opposed to the 300X. This is a 308X Gold. And guess what? Another bail issue. It seems like the bail wire seems to be the issue in 3 Mitchells that have come into the shop over the last day or two. So stay tuned. This one we haven't done the 308X for sure, so I'll probably do the 300 and the 308X just as modern day versions of the classics. Okay, and Brian, we talked about when we first started the video with the Pfluger. He brought me one. It's the Accurist, so it's the Quantum Accurist. It's the AC 100 HPT. This is a bait casting reel, and he just thought it would be good to do a video on this one, so we will. It's a flipper reel. You can have it in flip mode, which means just hold your thumb button down, flip, and as you release it will lock in, or you can override the flip by moving it up the chain there, and that will hold you for your casting, and then it'll kick out once you turn your reel. So I told Brian that sure, I'd love to make this the subject of a video. It's a 7-ball bearing reel. It's got a 7-to-1 return reel retrieve ratio. Very smooth reel, and I'm sure there's folks out there that are going to want to see how to take this apart, clean it up, and service it. Last one in now then is the older classic. It's the Garcia Mitchell. It's the 600A. This one actually still has its tag on it, missing a screw. This one came in, and I was told it's a childhood memory, and if I could do my best to tune this one up, it would be appreciated. This one's just all kinds of noisy. It's got the salt corrosion throughout, but this chrome is very good chrome, and it does tend to clean up very well. It's missing a bridge screw. I should have one of those around somewhere, and not as badly cracked. Most of the time they always get cracks on the side plate here. This one is not as badly cracked. So I hope some of those previews interest you. If you see one on there that I don't plan to do a video on, please let me know, and I'll be happy to try and include that as time permits. And if you've seen them on there and you enjoy some of the ones that are upcoming, then please make sure you're subscribed and have the notification button activated so that you won't miss any of the episodes that are to come. So with this, I'm going to wish you a great day. Stay well and stay fishing. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.